So every day, students are finding new ways to hide their social media activity from their parents.
Hello, everybody. I'm JT.
And I'm Stanley.
And welcome to The Conversation. Yeah, there's this app out right now. It's called Calculator, and it's spelled calculator with like a little percentage sign at the end of it. And it's an app that is used specifically to hide things from people. And it looks and acts like a calculator on your phone until you put in a number combination or a certain order of symbols, and then all of a sudden it opens up this whole back page of all these pictures and videos and text messages that you don't want people to see. So it's an easy way for people and students to hide things on their phones.
So there are apps like that out there. And then there's apps that your students are using that have ways that they can do things they probably shouldn't do, along with all the great benefits from those apps. So the question that a lot of parents have, including myself, and I know JT's asked it at times, is how do we keep up? How do we know what these apps do? How do we know what to look out for as we're trying to keep our children and our students safe?
And at the end of the video today, we're going to give you the number one thing that you can be doing to keep up with all the different things that are happening in social media and in technology in our students' lives.
And in order to answer this question, JT and I went and we spoke to one of the technology integration coaches in the Hoover school system. And we asked him, how are you encouraging teachers and parents to keep up with social media and with apps and with the internet? And he gave us a list of things to think about. We wanted to share some of those with you. One of the first things he said, there is a website that I highly encourage you as a children's minister, JT as a student minister, and all parents to check out periodically. It's called Common Sense Media. And they just put articles up there every day and throughout the week, and it's articles about all sorts of things, including social media, that students and children deal with. And it's helping parents understand that better so that they can keep their kids safe and have these meaningful conversations with their children and students. Another thing that we found as we were doing research, there was a sheriff's office in Florida who put out a picture. If your children have these apps on their phone, these are the things you need to be looking at. It tells you the pros and the cons of these apps and how they can be dangerous. And JT's going to tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, a lot of them are really scary things, and some of them are things that like a bunch of our students do use, like Snapchat and ways to like send pictures and talk, but then there's some of them that are just kind of, I don't know, I would just say scary, because there's apps like Whisper that are just about telling secrets to strangers, and there's all these different dating apps that are just not really for our students. They can be for some people that are in certain times of their lives, but I don't think they're necessarily for our students, especially in their teenage and preteen years, to be out there meeting strangers online and trying to date in that way.
Yeah, and so the Calculator app was on there that JT talked about a minute ago. And the main reason the sheriff's office in Florida put this out is because they had actually caught about 23 people who had used these apps that are in this picture and in this link that we will give you to this video. They used those apps to abduct children and to come into contact with kids so that they could abduct them. So we really want you to check that out. That'll be in the description. So check that out. Make sure those apps are not on your child's phone, or if they are, warn them of the disadvantages of some of the things those apps can do.
Yeah, and so as we're wrapping up this video, we want to share with you the number one thing that you can be doing, though, to be keeping up with the technology and all the different things that are on our kids' phone.
So the number one thing that we were told, that the number one way to find out what does your kid have on his phone, what is your kid trying to maybe hide from you, it's pretty simple, but the integration officer said, Google it. It sounds simple, but he said Google it, because that's what the kids and students are doing. They're going to Google and they're typing in, how do I hide this or that app from my parents on my phone? And it tells you apps that your child or your student can put on their phone that helps them hide things from their parents or from anyone else. And he said you need to check that more than just one time, because whatever it says when you type it in today, as you're watching this video, it'll be something totally different next month. So periodically go to Google, type that in, and just be on the lookout for those things on your kid's phone.
Yeah, and something else that you can also be doing besides just Googling it is be talking to other parents about what they're dealing with, what they're going through in their families. And so the more we share with each other, even though it can be a little embarrassing or maybe a little awkward at first, but the more we can share with other parents, with other families, the more that we can learn as a whole, and we don't have to make the same mistakes over and over again. And another thing that you can be doing is talk to your kids. Ask them specifically about the apps that they're using and how they are using them. And as we just communicate with our children, be surprised by how honest they are. Just ask them questions and have an honest and open conversation. And that way we can all be learning together, not just to hate social media, but to learn what are the good reasons for it and what are the pitfalls, how can we be messing up too, and to try to prevent those ways.
Yeah. So guys, we've loved making these videos. We hope that you've enjoyed talking about social media with us. We hope that you'll continue the conversation, as JT was saying, with your friends, with your family members, especially with your students, as we all learn together about this growing social media presence in the world that we live in today. And we'd love to keep making videos in the future, and we'd love to hear from you. What are some things you would like to hear about? We've talked about social media. What are some other things you might like to hear about in the future? So please be sure to leave a comment in the comment section. And we also want to let you know we found a lot of stuff about social media. We found a whole lot of stuff, and we've only been able to hit on a little bit of it in these 3 videos because we wanted to make them short so that you could stick around and watch them. But we'd love to dig into some of the things we didn't get to. So in the coming weeks, we're going to be dropping about a longer video, maybe 20 or 30 minutes, where we're able to talk and maybe bring in some special guests to help teach us a little bit more about
maybe
social
some
media.
guests. That'd be good.
So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to continuing the conversation.
See you later. See, and this is when we need the things. We need like the music and the flames and the showers and all the things. We need more lights. Fireworks everywhere.
And
all the fireworks.
Sparklers.
Everyone has sparklers.
Backup dancers. Right there.